Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Stone Genius. My name's Ro. I'm often stoned, always a genius. Right now, I'm a genius and stoned. I may talk about Celebrity Jeopardy. I don't know. I had asked, we're going to talk about it. I had asked whether Celebrity Jeopardy was easier than regular Jeopardy. Bobby says no. They talked about, some of the contestants talked about it in the latest episode. One of them said they thought it was harder. It's not harder. What I think it is the topics are more current. If you watch most just regular Jeopardy, the categories, if they use a more contemporary category, something that from pop culture, usually those nerds have no clue. If it's sports, they have no idea. It was like, what part of your body do you use when you throw a ball? They would have no idea. So I think on Celebrity Jeopardy, the questions that they use are difficult. I think it's the categories. I think the categories are just more topical and maybe would allow others an avenue to play the game effectively. That being said, I wonder if they've ever had, and if they haven't, I would be willing to do this. I am willing to be the first. So if you've been following the world of chess, and who doesn't follow the world of chess? There was within the last couple months, there was a big blowout, if you would, about someone that was cheating. And I don't know, so it was about chess. So I'm not going to read about the actual what happened. But yet when I saw anal beads in the title, it piqued my interest. I was like, wow. Maybe I should go back and think about playing chess again. So anyway, there was someone that was using anal beads, allegedly. And I haven't followed up. I read the initial story that said that maybe anal beads, maybe not the initial story. The first story and only story I've read about it, anal beads, and they said that the way it vibrated or something would tell him what move to make next. Now, I will say I've put stuff in my butt before. I mean, I've talked about the prostate massager before. I mean, hello. Anyway, I don't think, like, when my prostate massager is going different speeds, yeah, I can tell different. But I mean, they have to be significantly different for it. Maybe my prostate is not as sensitive as most. I don't know. I've never compared to anyone else's prostate, honestly. I probably won't compare to anyone else's prostate, but I'm just saying, personally, my prostate, my anal cavity, my derriere area, if you would. I don't think that I would be able to, like, I wouldn't be like, oh, pawn to king 4. I don't even know if that's a move. It could be, it might not be. I don't know. Sounds like it should be. Pawn to king 4. Oh, hold on, I have a voice for that.
Yes, pawn to king 4, please.
No, that's not a good one. That sounds, no. I think the only voice that's good for is if I was going to sell newspapers back in the old days.
The Hindenburg just hit and went down. Flames, I tell you, everywhere.
I don't like that one.
This is the one I like, motherfuckers.
Sorry, I just had to get that one in. And I had to get a curse word in early to make sure that I can stamp explicit on this episode, like every episode. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, I do not think that my anus, my anal cavity, my dairy area is sensitive enough to use it as a device to signal me to do other things. Like, go change the laundry. Oh, I gotta iron the clothes. I just don't think I mean, it would be cool, I guess, if it was that sensitive. Maybe, maybe not. Because I don't even know if you would call that hypersensitive. Maybe mine's just not sensitive enough. You know what? Hold on. But I wonder on Jeopardy whether you could do that. But you couldn't. You couldn't have an answer. So it would have to be a game of strategy where moves were involved. I mean, like Battleship. Like, I don't know if there's a professional Battleship league. A7, direct hit. Wow, that used to be such a cool game. But you would find people would typically in the game Battleship, they would always line them up, like make a square, line them up vertically, horizontally. It's, yeah. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, if I was playing Battleship and it was like, bzz, bzz, but where am I going to get that? And who's signaling him? Who is watching a live feed of chess? I mean, just let that sink in for a minute. Even if you play chess, even if you like chess, would you fucking watch it? And don't say yes, because you're lying. You would not watch it. I don't even think, I would be surprised if that was an actual thing that happened. Like oh, how boring would that be? I mean, sometimes people talk about golf being a boring sport on to watch on TV. Could you imagine chess? Ugh. Anywho, anyhow, anyway, I just don't know if that could be used some sort of sexual toy, sexual wellness apparatus be used as also a cheating device. That would be cool. I don't know how that would work, but that would be cool. And I would like to know, I just out of curiosity, no other reason why, I would like to know if this person's anus is more or less sensitive than the average anus. And I don't even know what the average, I don't know what that would be. Or how you would even judge that. Let's see, what other notes do I have? I make notes for the show. And I think I've told you this. I have almost 200 pages of notes in this book. Where did I start? 45? I started with episode 45. And I don't have dates. I'd have to look that up. I am now on you're listening to episode 133. So I'm going to get almost 100 episodes in here. And I know that you think that I don't put any effort into this show, and you're only half right. Let's see. What are some other notes? Here, I just wrote this down. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote this down. This was many days ago I wrote this note down. Do guys in prison see the new guy immediately think, I want to rape that guy? Or do you think that's more of I just don't. I mean, I'm trying to think like whether that's just like if that's the thing. Like, oh, it's a new guy. I wonder what gang he's going to join. I wonder if I can rape him. But B-U-T, not B-U-T-T, but that does tie in with the chess anal beads celebrity Jeopardy. Because some celebrities have been in prison and probably have enjoyed anal beads. What other notes have I written for this show? Do you know this is the third time I've attempted the show, but I will tell you this is the longest I've made it. Here's another thing. I'm tired of stupid people doing stupid things. So TikToker, never mind. So there's another person that he was complaining about a manager at a pharmacy, like a CVS, Walgreens, something like, I don't know, something like that. Like at a pharmacy that it said that the manager came up and yelled at him and told him to get to work. And he was a customer. So that's basically the headline. Then when you read it, you learn that he's a security guard, still in his uniform, shopping at a place that he does not work at, but they utilize his company. So someone saw him shopping, a manager, and thought that it was the security guard that should be working because it's a security guard, and you don't really go further than that. I mean, if I asked someone, describe your local mall security guard, you wouldn't be able to. You would give me a description that would include every mall security guard ever, and it would all look like Paul Blart. I think that movie made the security guard just one person, and it's Paul Blart. So my thing is, not every manager, if you're a company of every size, so especially something like this, a little familiar with that line of work, I will tell you that those guards, it's very high turnover. Generally, if you're doing a store like that, they will do them in shorter shifts, not like an 8-hour shift, like a 4-hour shift. So typically you have many people that'll rotate through. So you may not be aware of everyone. So if you see someone in a uniform, you may just go up and go, do you work here? Because that would be the thing. Like if you worked at a CVS, let's just use them for an example, and you employed a security guard from ABC XYZ security company, and you saw someone from that security company shopping in your store in uniform, would you go up and go, oh, are you one of our security guards? And if they go, oh, no, I'm not, do you use our company? That would start a whole dialogue and things would be different. You probably don't need to go up and accuse someone, yell at them if that's really what happened. Probably not what happens. Very rarely do you find a person that won't embellish, because you always have to win. So you're going to embellish your story whether you're going to admit to it or not. So this person said that the manager yelled at him, blah, blah, yada, yada. Here's the thing. If you work for a company that requires a uniform, whether that is Best Buy, Target, or Chuck E. Cheese. Actually, I don't know if they have uniforms at Chuck E. Cheese. So let's just say if you're wearing a uniform. If I was wearing you know what? If you go into a Target and you are wearing khaki pants and a red polo shirt, someone is going to mistake you for working there. You know what? If you're a Best Buy employee and you go into Walmart, someone is going to mistake you for a Walmart employee because they wear the blue polos too. And once they see that, no one's going to go any further. Look for a smock? No. Look for a name tag? Why would you do that? Just a blue shirt? I'll just ask this person. Here's the thing. I've said this before. I always say this. Lean into it then. If someone asks you, if they're just going to assume that you work there, because like if you're wearing a name badge or something and you're dressed similar to maybe one thing, but I mean, still don't assume, oh, no, I don't work here or something. But if they're going to make the assumption that you work there where you obviously don't, like let's say you're wearing a blue polo, but then you have your purse in your hand or a jacket in your hand or a basket in your hand, like you're shopping. If someone's going to say, oh, do you work here? Yeah. What did you need? And then if they go, can you tell me where this is? Oh, yeah. You probably couldn't be any further away from that. We just moved it and sent them to the other side of the store. And then if you run into them again, go, well, why would you ask me? I don't work here. Just pretend like you weren't the one that answered that. Lean into it. But I don't complain about that because you read the whole story and you're like, oh, a manager yelled at, and then you're like, yeah, you dumb and that's what I don't understand. That these people that post a lot of these stories, they don't really give a shit that at the end you think they're an idiot. So like the TikToker who said that she was too pretty to work, and then she gets bullied, says that she gets bullied, and everyone should have known that she was joking. It was just a joke. She's not really too pretty to work. Which, yes, everyone should have known that. All you had to do is look at her face that she posted a picture of, and you would be like, well, that's not the title of this article. Reflectively, I guess I should say. So now she's come back and saying she's getting bullied for that first comment. So now we have two fucking stories that we've spent that have entered our mind that she's attributed. So the third one is probably going to be like, now I'm getting bullied for, it'll just keep going on. She gets her 15 minutes of fame. In fact, she may have 30 minutes of fame because of doing this twice now. I wonder if I could do this show with anal beads, like electric anal beads. I don't know if that would be fun. Like how far, I don't know how you get those in. And I'm afraid, I'm going to have to borrow someone's phone to look this up. Because I don't know how you like stick them in. I know that may sound weird, but like they're like, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen every type of anal bead. I just don't know how you get them in. Like, I don't get that. So, and that's fine. I'm okay not getting that. You know, I talk about every morning how I feel ill. I don't talk about that, I guess, on the show that much, but every day I feel ill when I wake up. Now, I am not saying I believe that I travel through parallel universes, but if that was proved to be true, I wouldn't be like, oh, I could have never imagined. That being said, maybe the reason my stomach hurts so much is it's hunger. Because that seems like that would make sense. That I always talk about how, well, I'm just never hungry. You know, I get past it and everything. Maybe that in the morning, the reason I feel so sick is I am hungry. And maybe that's because all night, because I'll wake up a sweaty mess. I mean, I can't tell you how often I have to change my clothes in the middle of the night. And it's not because it's some weird sex thing that me and Bobby have going on. I mean, I wish that it was because it's some weird sex thing. Like if she was like in the middle of the night, if she was sleep peeing on me, which I don't know if that's a thing. I know sleepwalking is. And I think you can pee while sleepwalking. So I would assume that sleeping golden showers would be a thing. Would that be like SGS, sleeping golden showers? So if that, because I mean, I wake up soaked where I have to change clothes. So maybe my body stays here, but I exit my body and that's why I wake up with bruises. That's why I'm hungry. That's why, because I'm just going. I think my body is sleeping, but it's not. But that sounds about right. If the reason I felt so sick in the morning was not because I couldn't eat because I felt sick, it's because I was so hungry I needed to eat. I am trying my best right now to trigger everything I can to make myself want to eat. I thought about this, that if you've ever seen the movie Glass, with Samuel L. Jackson, how his bones are like glass and they break so easy. That's how my skin is. It's like, so I would, instead of glass, I would be like Mothman. No, that was already a thing. I'd be like butterfly skin guy. Sounds like a porno, actually. So maybe none of those. I would be none of those, actually. I still can't. I'm still trying to understand how anal because like if you put them in, like I would think you could only push them in as deep as your finger is, or do they bunch up and how far in do they go? Like I have so many questions. I'm not sure I want answers to those questions, but I have so many questions. And it seems, now I got to know, see, this is how my head works. So I like to point out guys that don't wash their hands after going to the bathroom, especially when I worked at Best Buy. Like if I went in a bathroom, an employee would never do that in front of me because they know I'm going to point them out. But if a customer did, I'd walk out, I'd say, like, don't shake that guy's hand. I mean, I would. So how many people don't wash their hands after doing something? Now, to me, to be fair to my own body, I would wash my hands before I peed because I don't want to touch it because that's how your dick gets dirty. So you wash them before and then you don't pee on your hands. That's the second major thing. Hopefully your parents, mother, father, someone, an uncle. However, now that I say that out loud, if your penis is out and you're with your uncle, you're probably being molested. I'm just saying you're not definitely being molested, but there is a good chance you're being molested. Just know that. If at any age your penis is out and your uncle is right next to you or near you within like reaching distance, you're probably being molested. Wow. That's how I'm gonna title this show "Anal Beads and Molestation." Man, it is windy here. So here in Kansas City in the Midwest. Woo! Hold on, I have something for that, don't I? One of the things I hate about this, so it was 70 degrees at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Central Time, whatever time we're in now in November, whatever that time is called. Standard Time, Daylight Saving, I don't know what it's called, but we're in it, okay? So at 11 a.m., it's 70 degrees. At 12 a.m., or 12 p.m., an hour later, it's 50 degrees. And then like at 12:02, it's like 40 degrees. Now, that timeline may not be 100% accurate, but it is not that far off. And it is windy as fudge. Don't know why I didn't cuss. Hold on, I know why I didn't cuss.
Because if I'm gonna cuss, I'm gonna use this voice, you nasty ass motherfuckers.
Ooh, see, when I do that, I kind of turn into Catherine. Because if you remember when she first heard her voice doing that, she went off the rails. She like called me a pussy first, which I was like, okay, that if you're gonna use a curse word, I probably would not call the person interviewing me a pussy. If they said, hey, why don't you use a curse word to me? I would not say, okay, pussy. That probably been 6th or 7th on my list, but that's what she decided to go with. And then I was like, that's what you decide to go with. And then she just let loose. I mean, her mouth, like, I never understood when my parents tried to wash my mouth out with soap when I was little, when I said a bad word. But I literally understood what they were doing. At that time, I had an epiphany. I mean, when Catherine is just, her nasty mouth just spewing these curse words, like it's some sailor convention or something coming out of her mouth. I mean, which is better, I must say, than a sailor convention going into her mouth. And I got that drum. Yeah. So, but man, she went off the rails. But it is fun, I will tell you.
Using this voice to cuss is so much fun. So if I say it like this, hey, you pussy motherfuckers. No, okay.
Yeah, it is so much fun to cuss on that thing. I think that's about it. What? No, I have to have more. Let's see. Anal beads, check. I mean, we talked about them not checking, like, I've still got to figure that shit out. I don't know because, like, I would figure, how long is my finger? Okay, I'm 6'5". I used to say I have big hands, but my wife's hands are almost the same size as mine. And I get it. She's 6'1". But my finger is like, I don't know, 3 inches, 3.5. I don't know how long my longest finger is, but it doesn't seem like it's long enough that I would be able to shove multiple beads thingies into my anus, my dairy area. That should be the name of this. Molestation of the dairy area. Nope, that probably, you'd never see that episode if that's what I named it. Okay, so anal beads, check. I talked about getting raped in prison, right? Because I have a feeling, especially if I'm fit, like if I let myself go and then I go into prison and I'm just like some old fat guy, some old fat 60-year-old, no one's going to want to rape that. But if I went into prison right now, there'd be at least one. And I don't want to sound too cocky here, but I would say there's probably more than one that would want to immediately rape me. So we talked about that, so I'm going to check mark that off. Anal beads, check. Guys in prison wanting to rape the new guy / me. Not that I'm going to be the new guy in prison. I'm just saying. Hunger pains. We talked about hunger pains. Yeah, I think the dumb guy that wore his uniform into the wrong job and then got upset, and stupid people. I think we've covered it all. So I think, aw, that's sweet. That's really nice. And I have mentioned this. It seems like this show's a lot longer than what it's going to appear to be because I have done this twice before. That wasn't a bad one. Anyway, what do I have for episode 134 coming up next? Oh, there's a lot of notes. I'm going to talk about Al Bundy. Now, if any of you immediately thought of Ted Bundy, the serial killer, then shame on you. Talking about Al Bundy from Married with Children. Plenty of notes on that. So that'll be the next episode 134 of The Stone Genius. Hey, thank you all for listening. Please share. Tonight, I was able to go to the Kansas Cannabis Chamber of Commerce meeting. Some of the great people there. Hopefully, we'll be on the show soon, too, so we'll have plenty of talks. Not just about cannabis, not just about the industry, but maybe about aliens, because, why not? But I'm going to be hanging out with people that are involved in the cannabis industry. Let's just jump to the conclusion that we're going to talk about weird stuff, too, because that's what I plan on doing. So To everyone that's been listening to this whole show, thank you so much. Please share this episode. Not just this episode, share the Stone Genius. Some reason I don't pay a lot of attention, but there was a huge spike after the last episode. So for that, I applaud you. And just so you can hear it one last time.
Goodbye, motherfuckers.
Ooh, wow. I said that very loud. And I'm doing this late at night. So I hope my neighbors aren't like, whoa. I don't know what's going on down there or who's leaving, but that doesn't sound good. Okay, till next time. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. This is the podcast called The Stone Genius. My name's Ro. Remember, go get high.